Nsem-Pii TV nie. Ene ugokopie mu ewo the appointment committee sitting. Parliament House, Accra, Ghana. Vetting of the second batch of sector minister nominees. Na ekoso na ne enya goodie kra. One person ane ne Ghana fo obi ahwe ni mu so ba bepie mu ho na ya toto na no ene the former minority leader NP for Tamale South Honorable Haruna Idrisu ono a minister designate for Ministry of Education. Nene okopie mu ho asembisi a chese NDC for mu ho omu nyina yom di omu se brim adentia omu ko ba ko a omatie a omu di tu omu ho safo henu kujeto ablakwa eje ho yoyoyo the Operation Recover All Loot Omatundinse ORAL omu na esie se certain government appointees atoto abansa se wo cantonment ani ni kwansenke ton omo and the minority leader Honorable Alexander Kwame Afenyo marking edrele Haruna Idrisu ma wajitum sampa ono so cantonment insase no se wa tobi nti ORAL fo mu odwumadie di a mo hia se fi Haruna Idrisu Afenyo marking busan se Haruna Idrisu ehe fa na hote and I say mete cantonments ho baby we nyina kasa ekoso ewutwi kasem ayebebo amo amamati na ojitum sampa enye bone say any political appointee ebenya asase ya cantonment in a sharp contrast to kujeto black kwani NDC for aparachiks ni bi commentaries ahodo mo run no ewo TV radio and the political landscape. Now we are no and the former Minister for Education, the Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, and so J microphone, and then ought to be bonus ya. Now no year mun Haruna Idrisu yampa. Since Ghana's independence, Jumedia Honorable Dr. Osei Yao Educhum, any MPP are buying Nanda Kufodo ebe die Dr. Napo ebe shasiye with regards to STEM education, what they buy, technical and vocational education, what they buy. Codvet or de baye engineering schools or de baye or say idea we dear or NDC so be to say a year pan into a mobile twaso or mobile head the MPP year and normal busa agent dear the free a bit to more normal the account na STEM education after the Omasha see the African Nagatin po said the another year no across STEM education almost say almost share the free people na on my year no across the length and breadth of Ghana. The vetting process was a sight to behold. Nyanko said the institute 200 Idrisu no esify.
Knew a lot of people. Now, I want us to do a little exercise. On your CV, you have on page 1 of 3. You have for residential address 2 Shippy Close Fedeos, Cantonment, Accra. If you'll be pleased, the cantonment is where you live, correct?
Yes. I live, when you are entering the house, you see the Fedeos written by the wall.
Very well, nominee, I understand. I know cantonment very well. You live at cantonment?
Yeah, I do. I used to be in Bubuashi.
Honorable nominee, you provide the specific answers to the very questions I ask. You know, you being my respected senior, members want us to finish you quickly. And if you open yourself up, then maybe there will be more follow-ups. So you live at cantonment?
Yes.
Very well. Now, this residential facility, this property, is it a rented property or it is your house?
It is my house.
You are very honest. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Haruna Idrisu. The reason why we, the young ones, respect you is such courage to face the truth that will take you higher, as prophesied by Roxanne. So it is no offense for a politician to own a property at cantonment, correct?
Not at all, depending upon your...
Order. Chairman with respect. You've had calls to caution the friends of this committee from the majority side. Please let us observe some decorum, respectfully. Honorable Haruna Idrisu, saying, in Krahim Fana Wote,
Mate, Cantonments, baby.
Chairman,
Mr. Chairman, that's not allowed by our rules. Mr. Chairman,
because
Mr. Chairman,
I tried the tree with you because on your CV. Oh, colleague, on his CV, we are not done. Chairman, these your friends.
Please go ahead and address the chair.
Chairman, thank you. Honorable Haruna Idrisu, Pepacho, why a MP in Fieseng?
I bet it's 20 years in there.
Very well. So those are, you've passed. Because Honorable nominee, you say on your CV that you speak English, Dagbani, Hausa, and Twi.
That's true.
I am thus far impressed with your Twi. I'm sure that there is a Southern inspiration.
that's Parliament House.
My wife, Mary, Safwa Yebua.
Oh, very well.
Sometimes when I'm coming out, I don't know about church, me say, Chino, Messia, Namin Bowadin, Namin Kanaye.
So, Chair, you have disclosed that Madam has inspired you with a tree. That's great. So, Chair, I want to know from the nominee whether or not he benefited from free education.
I did, coming from northern Ghana at the time. I attended Kulukulu School through Bagabaga JSS, through exams. I think that I didn't do well in mathematics for that particular sitting. And Tamasco at the time was insisting on a particular grade. And Navasco was open. If you had evidence that you were about rewriting, you could come and justify. So I went to Navrongo Secondary School for the A-level. And I'm proud to say that 1991, I probably was one of the best A-level students Navasco produced. I still hold one of the best grades ever in business management from Navasco. That record have not been broken. And so yes, this was what motivated. But traveling to Navrongo Chair was a difficult one. 7 hours from Tamale to Navrongo. And then you are carrying your gari in a chop box. You are not sure of the metro mass. We have survived and we have come a long way. Thank you, Chair.
So, Honorable nominee, I can understand why you had to go through a law program with those inspirations you've studied, philosophy, sociology, and...
Please address the chair.
Sir, great progress has been made. It has been validated. It has been validated around the world. STEM education in Ghana. I want to ask the nominee what plan his soon-to-be ministry is going to do about STEM education.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members. Thank you, Honorable. The significant thing for the NDC and President Mahama, as far as education is concerned, is for it to contribute meaningful to our national sustainable development efforts. At the tertiary level, emphasis will be on access, quality, and relevance. At the secondary level, emphasis will be on foundational learning in order that we can produce critical thinkers for the future. There will be a review of pedagogy and curriculum at all levels of education to meet the country's aspirations into the future and for meaningful contribution to our national development effort. I should note the effort you have done in getting STEM. We intend to build, at least in every region of Ghana, a model STEM school, which will carry from kindergarten to senior high school to produce men for the future of work. We appreciate that going into the future, we will need to train more people in science, information and communication technology, and engineering. In that respect, our universities will be expected to relate more to industry without compromising their core academic objective training models. Thank you, Chair.
Any further questions?
Yes, please. Honorable Chair, this House have had an opportunity to approve GETFund formula. We have all lamented about capping and debate about uncapping. I want to know the opinion of the nominee in the next budget coming up, what he intends to advocate for and push for in order to meet these aspirations of this House, which has been around for a long time. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you for the question. And for me, also nostalgic. Those days in 1997, I was one of the strong advocates with many of our colleagues around here to advocate for the establishment of the GETFund. Before then, tertiary education was largely public funded. Tuition remained free. There was no access even to private tertiary institutions. The Ghana Education Trust Fund has done its part. In the last few years, it has suffered because of the decision of then Minister of Finance to cap it. President Mahama and the Minister of Finance have gone public, and I join them in saying that we will uncap the GETFund to free additional resources to support robust infrastructure development. Indeed, mathematically, cap GETFund today is about $3.2 billion Ghana cedis, 3.2 billion Ghana cedis. Uncap it will make available to the Ministry of Education some 7.9 billion, which will accelerate expanded infrastructure. For instance, there are about 2,800 schools that needs to be fixed to deal with the problems of overcrowding. There are about 26,000 schools which has no changing facility for young girls for purposes of hygiene. There are about 780 schools that is required to expand access to junior high school. We will uncap GETFund. I would engage the Minister for Finance to do this as a matter of expediency, and for the President to engage with the IMF to review the memorandum which included the GETFund in the negotiations. President Mahama have said that he will review the IMF. So part of the review will be to uncap the GETFund and free those additional resources to support the country to rely on GETFund resources to finance education generally, in particular higher education.
Please proceed to ask the question.
Honorable Chair,
I'm coming to you.
in this great country, Ghana, the middle class has been squeezed for many years. Teachers, nurses have been squeezed, given the fact that majority of them have to find money to send their children to private school in our public schools. That at least in Greater Accra, you can see Accra STEM Academy.
Please, order. Honorable Yusuf, I do not want to mention your name again.
So the public school transformation agenda is something that is very dear to the middle class. Honorable Chair, I want to ask my soon-to-be Minister for Education, what are his ideas and opinions about making sure that children, all children, have quality public schools to attend, and that if a parent doesn't have the resources, they will not go and look for a loan to send their children to private schools. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, our intervention in the education sector will be all-encompassing. We will give true meaning to the pursuit of free, compulsory, universal basic education. In my reading in the last few days, I have come to appreciate a major dichotomy which needs our urgent critical attention. Rural-urban dichotomy in the quality of education, northern-south dichotomy in the quality of education, and more deprived schools not producing because of quality of teachers and the presence of teachers in those areas. I intend, even when we assume office, to engage the Honorable Minister for Local Government as part of the financial realignment to get him to accept that teacher accommodation can be done by realigning common fund into building those for teachers in the rural areas. I do know that conditions of service generally for workers in the Ghanaian public sector is not the best. I had the privilege in the last few years to be Ghana's Minister for Employment. I did my utmost best to deal with some of the most incipient labor disputes of the country. But nonetheless, the cascading effect of what you do for the teacher, its economic and financial implications for the nurse, the pharmacist, the doctor, is what guides the purse. Therefore, what is in the kitty? We need to improve revenue mobilization generally. And in education, it will be appreciated if, and Parliament members are here, if we can dedicate 20% of national expenditure into education, or allocate at least a minimum of 5 to 6% of GDP to support education, then over a 10-year period, we would have done enough to expand and make these facilities available. At the basic level, and this was my concern, you haven't achieved free compulsory universal basic education, and you have up there a free senior high school education. You will still have in urban areas, Honorable former Minister and Chairman, in the urban areas, the out-of-school dropout, you see them. In the rural areas, you don't. That's the danger. We also have to be careful that we are not producing unemployed graduates from free senior high school who would become a threat to an unemployable. So that is why Minister hailed some of the TVET initiative, because we have to improve employability. And employability is better done through technical vocational training. We will expand access to all TVET institutions. I'm aware that some of your initiatives were 30, 20, 40%, because you didn't have money because you capped GETFund. You remember, I don't want the minority leader to look into my eye. So the uncapping didn't free resources for you to be able to expand those TVET institutions. President Mahama and the NDC will complete all those TVET institutions, given respect to the directive principles of state policy, that as president, he has a responsibility to the state to continue every good initiative of the previous government. I thank you.
Thank you. You have further question? Please go ahead. And I plead that that should be the last question.
The last one. Honorable Chair, I think there has been interesting debate about the issue of E-blocks. And E-blocks, we completed a number of them across the country. But the good news is that government is a continuum. And that is why, beyond completing E-blocks, we added boarding facilities to those that are in remote locations. Adansia Peja is an example. Edujama is an example. Drobonso is an example where we added boarding facilities so that the facilities will become useful to the people of Ghana. It's not about us, it's about the children. So I think beyond completing e-blocks that have not been completed, Honorable nominee, Honorable Chair, would the Honorable nominee look into the possibility of adding boarding facilities if an e-block is in a distant location and students cannot walk to the school, so they become more useful to the country? Thank you.
Chair, the government will have no difficulty at all accepting to work to add boarding facilities. Where my own personal experience during the campaign was a day I was driving from Yendi towards Miang, and you see a major E facility on the Miang Road. I saw school girls and boys walking the street from Yendi Kulkwin walking towards that area. That reminded me that if there's any opportunity to add a boarding facility to that, we should do that. And then also in Cherpune and also in Wulesi on the same road, I saw a facility where many of the catchment communities needed that. We would have no difficulty expanding boarding facilities where necessary. Ours is to expand access, ensure relevance and quality delivery by improving the conditions of service of teachers to the best that the economy can do, and to improve their quality through motivation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chair, thank you. Honorable Yusuf, you may have the floor.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairman. And first of all, let me congratulate my senior brother, Honorable Idris Haruna, for this nomination. And also just to put it on the record that we are very proud of you, especially with the young politicians from the north, and you serve as inspiration to us.
It's filled to its full capacity. It tells all of us how popular you are with ordinary people. I can see behind.
Nsem-Pii wɔ hɔ no more, na nsɛm so wɔ hɔ. It is utie now share on my YouTube channel.
Be the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.